Well, hello everyone. This is Michelle Nettleton, and today we're going to do this beautiful painting of yellow mushrooms. So the students are all in class, ready and willing to go. So please join us. Let's go through this painting so that I can tell you what is important and what to look out for. So on this side, it's green, and that's like sap green. We're going to start off with a really light tea, as we usually start off, tea consistency, and then later on we'll start adding on and get that sort of organic tree bushy thing. On the right hand side, we're going to drop in little bits of green, okay, and then there's purple, and down at the bottom we're going to try and leave some whites, because that's going to say to the viewer, this is foreground. Anything that's really dark, that's background, okay? So the other thing that we have to be really careful of is to make these look like mushrooms and not footballs. The background caps here are darker brown to throw them into the background. So this right in here, I'm not too sure what that is, but I'm saying I've just decided that a bird came down and started pecking on it and left a little mark there. And there's another one there if I remember to put it in. And then these stems here, to make them that sort of almost translucent color, I painted them yellow ochre, and then I put some darker stuff on each side to make it look rounded. And then after it was dry, I put a little bit of green on top. And again, all the purple on the right hand side. It's the same sort of thing. We'll start with tea, and then we'll start building up. And look at here. This is like almost black, all right? It's purple that's so dark and so concentrated. And the reason is that because it's so dark, it's making this yellow pop out. And that's why when you looked at it, you went, wow. Yeah, it's the wow effect right there, having light and dark, okay? And also we're using the color combination, the greens and the yellows and the purples, are just stunning color combination here. So let's get started with the palette. Now, here's one thing that I've been doing is I'm wetting my palette, and then I get these big puddles of water in the places where I'm going to be mixing. And if I leave that there, I'm going to end up with lighter colors, lighter than I want, and mixtures and all kinds of things. All right, now we've wet our palettes. I think we're going to place in our background colors first. So take a big brush, nice big brush. This is called a cat's tongue, with wet water as opposed to dry water.
So is this for the background only?
This is our background. So we're going to the background green. Background green. Keep your eye on, you should be looking up at the original as much as you're looking at your paper, okay? The same thing if you were drawing things, you need to look at your reference as much as you look at your actual paper, because then you start making stuff up on your own, and then it doesn't look right. All right, put some water over on the right hand side too, so that we can put some green in over there as well. Okay, now I'm going to get my big round, that's my number 12. And then I'm going to dip into my sap green. And I want a tea consistency. Okay, green's the hue, and then the values are how light and dark, okay? So we can start putting different values of the green in too as we're going here. So I'm just going very quickly. It's wet. It should flow on its own. I'm just going to be a little careful around the caps of the mushrooms, and I should say go through the names of the parts of the mushroom. So there's the cap, and there's the stem, and then there's the gills, which you don't see any gills, but see if you look up right now, right in here, this is not smooth because there's gills under there, causing it to be ruffled a bit underneath the cap, the bottom part of the cap. Put a few little spots in for the right side because we want to have color harmony. So it's not good to have all purple on one side and all green on the other. Now we're going to go over and if you have purple, use purple. Purple is red and blue. So you could use alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. You could also use the cadmium red and the cobalt blue, and variations of that too. So whatever you would like to do. I'm going to wet the right hand side. And I'm leaving bits of white. So there's some on the right, there's some on the left. And when you get around the caps, just be careful. Otherwise you can paint quite loosely. Again, we're using tea consistency. This little piece of, I don't know what it is, botanical matter. Be careful to leave it there because it's kind of cute. It's good to have it there. It gives a sense of depth. Put a few bits of it in the green areas. Okay, not too much. Remember to leave white in some spaces. Okay. I think that's about all I need for now. Make sure that you're using clean, clear, good water, okay? And do not do this to a mushroom that is close to wet paint, okay? So if you got purple wet paint or green wet paint, steer clear of that until it's dry, okay? So mine's dry, so I'm going to wet the cap here, and I am going to use this nice bright yellow, cadmium yellow. Okay. And I'm putting some yellow on this mushroom cap.
Wait, will we wet the mushroom?
Wet it?
Would that be cadmium yellow? It's
Yeah.
a bright yellow.
Have yellow tea. Okay, so now I'm going to start forming the caps. So this is, if you look up here for a second, there's more, the light is sort of coming, well, it is coming this way because we have shadows here. So the light is coming from the left top. So the right side should be lighter. And this mushroom cap is coming out towards you. So this is lighter. Okay. So this is how you stop it from looking like a football. Okay. So this has to be lighter and it has to be lighter here. And I'm going to put a little bit of red in it. A little bit of cadmium red, I think. Let me just check that. I think that's good. Cadmium red. There we go. And this is, mine is still damp. So because it's damp, things are moving and I like that. I want it to move.
What color did you say you had to use for this background?
Yellow ochre and a little bit of cad red. We're looking for golden is what we're looking for. And I'm trying to make it come to a little, this is what my daughter called it, a nipple. There is a nipple up there, she said. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit down in around here. Make it a little darker near where the gills are. Okay, and I don't want an outline, so I'm going to drag up some color towards the middle. What if I put burnt sienna on here? What would happen? Let's see. Yeah, a little burnt sienna. Okay, so get the idea? If you look at this little mushroom here on the left, the littlest mushroom on the left, it's got a shadow on it. And the one next to it has a shadow. That's caused by this mushroom up here. Okay, so we're going to try and get that shadow in. I'm just going to quickly put it in like that. That's just to remind me that there's a shadow there. And then I'm going to soften the edges a bit because hard lines are hard to get rid of. Okay, so I was just messing around here with colors and I kind of like what I got here. So I'll tell you what I made, how I made this color, this orangey color here. That's a second layer, but I'll add more layers to it. But it is yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, and a little bit of burnt sienna. I need a little bit of something darker next to the mushroom, like one's in behind the other, so it has to be just, a bit darker right there, just so you can tell the difference. It's also good to have a variety of yellows in here, so you have reddish one, reddish yellow, and greenish yellow. Yes, and I am using my rigger, so I'm making a little line here, but then I'm going to take another brush. So I've got what's this? This is a 0. Okay, so it's a small brush, and then I'm going to pull that color up a little bit towards the center of the mushroom cap, because I don't want a hard line there. And also I want this mushroom to look like it's in the background. So another way of doing that is going into the purple and just brushing some purple over this while it is dry. Okay, so this is purple, just dragging it up, and it's darker on the right side than the left side. Trying to get a little mushroom cappy looking feeling to this. I think I better leave that alone. And then I'm going again into the purple, and this other little guy that's in the background, putting a little purple on him too. But making sure to leave a little bit of something lighter, because there's like all kinds of branches and everything going on, and so the shadows are not solid. What else? I need to have something a little darker right here to distinguish, oops, it's not, okay, to distinguish the two mushroom caps here, one from the other. So I'll start with a little bit of burnt umber, or whatever you have there, that dark brown. Okay, and form the roundness of that cap. A little more water. Okay, there it is. And then I grab my clean brush with some water on it and make that really thin. Trying to pull up some of the color so that I don't have a thick outline. I want it to be very subtle. Now, if we were using the pen, like this pen, I would use that pen right in there when it's dry. But we're not using pens just yet. We're going to learn that. Like, even though you can't see the gills, you get a ragged edge at the bottom of the cap.
Ragged edge, yeah.
Oh, this is looking like I don't know what. All right. So I'm using a paper towel to bring out, to lift some of the middle
Oh, sorry. That's okay.
color there so that it's
Play footsies with you.
looks natural. Here, there, and this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna work on this a little bit more. It's not quite doing what I want it to do, but oh well. We're doing the background now. Okay, so our second run on the background. All right, so if you want to get a really dark green like that, you're going to take your sap green and you're going to add a little bit of purple to it. And the more purple you put in, the darker it gets, okay? So we want to get different values, lighter and darker. So we don't want to cover up all this nice light green here. But we do want it to keep it quite loose, so that means we have to have that area wet. You don't have to wet it everywhere. So I'm going to start up in this corner right up here with my beautiful cat's tongue. I didn't wet everything.
Just little dabs.
Yeah, I just kind of spread it around a bit. Okay, like that. Okay, now I'm going into my sap green and purple. A little bit of purple in there. That's sap green. And now I got this really dark green, right? Like it is spreading all over the place.
Oh, it's working.
I don't want it to do that much. Okay, it's pretty tea, and it's because it's tea, it's not doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to work with just the straight sap green and see if I can get what I want from that. Okay, sap green's working. Going to be very careful around the cap without outlining. But if you go like this, right up here is dry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm making some little marks up there on the dry, and that's nice. And then I'm in some areas that are blending because they're wet. So you're kind of working, you're doing both, okay?
Yeah.
Some of it's in wet, some of it's in dry. But you want to get something quite dark around your mushrooms, around the mushroom caps, because remember, we're trying to make the mushroom caps pop. So I can tell right now that I'm going to need another layer to get these mushrooms to pop. So now I'm going into my sap green and purple with it. I've got a creamy consistency. And I'm going to drop some in here and there. Whoa, look at that. Whoa. So much fun, eh? And some of it's going into the dry paper. And some of it's in wet. Oh my gosh, and some of it's gotten into my cap. I think I've done enough up there. I'm going to move down to the other parts. So wet a little bit here and there. I'm going to go to a number 10 brush, round brush, and going just in sap green. Whoa, got a little carried away. A little too much. Okay, I'm going to drop some water in it. Now I'm painting with two brushes. It's very rare to do that when you're with watercolors. Okay, so the bits on the right hand side that are green, I'm gonna put some variety of.
Are you wetting it first?
No, trying to make sure that my little dabs of green are not symmetrical and parallel. Switching over to the purples. So if I want my purples to go really dark, what should I do to them?
Black?
No,
No.
green.
Oh.
So you're going to put a little bit of green in it because you want color harmony. And you're going to have mostly purple. Okay, so wet. I'm going to start down at the bottom here where maybe nobody will notice in case I make a mistake. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Maybe I need more purple in it. And here's something you can do too. Take your spray bottle.
After you put the paint.
Yeah, and then it's going to do like crazy stuff. You can also do this. Make it move by lifting. Anyways.
So we're not wetting the paper first on this?
Yes, you are. But I was just working in a dry area there. Leaving whites, remember to leave some white in the foreground here, the bottom. Because this number 12 brush has a nice point on it, I can use it for doing this detail. If it didn't have a nice point, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd have to use something else. Okay, being careful not to outline.
Q-tips.
Okay, so I've gotten a little bit too,
Crazy?
there's too much going on. It needs to be softened. It's too much movement. You know what I mean when I say there's too much movement?
Yeah. Too blended.
No, if it's blended, if everything's very blended, then it doesn't seem, it doesn't have movement. But if there's lots of lines, strokes going in different directions, that gives it movement. Okay, now I'm trying to go in with the real dark purples here. I'm just doing straight purple, but I'm going to put some greens, drop some green in there too. And I could drop blue in as well. That would look nice. See if, oh, look at that blue. That looks nice. That's cobalt blue. I like the cobalt blue. My really dark background in here. That is just purple and green. Sap green. It's still the purple, and I'm trying to get it a little bit lighter on this side because that's where the light side is, right? So I'm adding in some light cobalt blue for the lighter side. And I better stop and have a look at it from a distance pretty soon. Okay, so this dark stuff here is getting like it's pretty solid, so I'm just going to take a damp paper towel and bring up a few little bits. Okay, now I'm going in for details on the mushroom. So I got to clean my brushes and my water. I'm going to go real dark in certain areas. I have to get this white part figured out too. So I'm going to put a little bit of ochre around here. Oops, needs to be wetter. A little bit of ochre, and then dark brown. So okay, so I've done that. And I'm just going to put a little blue in there because I think that there's probably some sort of shadow in that little white spot. So there we go. That's all I'm going to do there. Okay, I'll have to start getting some details down in here. So I have to go dark green, darker than that. And I don't want it to be outlined, and I don't want it to be smooth. Because remember, that's where the gills are. Okay, and then I need a shadow on this stem. Well, the stems are in a lot of shadow, so I'm going to go yellow ochre on all of them. And then afterwards, I'll do something else to it. So yellow ochre on the stems. Okay, that's still wet. I'll use the dark brown, see how that works. Okay, dark brown. Can go darker than that, still darker. The shadow, really nice and dark. All right, now I gotta let it dry and then I'll go dark again. Okay, darken here. Dark shadow on the stem again here and here. And especially on the right side. Guess that'll do. Good enough. Okay, nice and dark. Then on the right side, a little bit on the left side of the stem. Still working on the stems, trying to get the shadows in. On the right side, got a little carried away here. Got into some purple here. Trying to make this mushroom cap stand out from the mushroom in the background, so I just put in some straight purple. Just right next to it, not everywhere. There. Okay, now I'm gonna, whoa, I'm going crazy on the background.
I have the new.
Yellow
Yours are
ochre.
nice.
Black, and you want it very creamy, and you want to use your rigger, and you want it really, you want to try it on a scrap piece just to make sure that you're loaded up the right way. So I just did that, and now I'm going to put some branches. And I'm even going to bring one up over top of one of the mushroom caps. And that's going to give us some dimension. Well, I hope you had as much fun as we did. And if you do this painting on your own, send me an email. I would love to see it. Okay? Bye.